5 things you should never reveal to anyone. Point 1. Your biggest plans before they happen. Have you ever noticed that the moment you announce your big plans, things suddenly start going wrong? You are full of excitement, ready to conquer the world, and then out of nowhere obstacles appear. People you thought would support you begin to question your ability. Doubt creeps in. Progress slows down. Why does this happen? Because not every ear that hears your dreams is a friendly one. The world isn't always cheering for your success. Some will pretend to support you but secretly hope you fail. Others, out of jealousy or fear, will plant seeds of doubt in your mind. And some will actively try to sabotage your progress before it even begins. The moment you start announcing your plans, you give the enemy a weapon. A plan spoken too soon is like a seed planted in shallow soil, exposed, vulnerable, and easily destroyed. And if you think this is just a modern problem, think again. The Bible has already warned us about this through the life of Joseph. The Bible offers a striking example of this in the story of Joseph. As a young man, Joseph had extraordinary dreams of greatness. In Genesis 37:5-11, he excitedly shared his visions with his brothers' dreams where he saw himself ruling over them. Instead of receiving encouragement, Joseph became the target of envy and betrayal. His own brothers conspired against him, selling him into slavery. What if Joseph had kept his dreams to himself? Perhaps his journey would have been different. Maybe he would have avoided years of suffering. The lesson here is clear. Not everyone will celebrate your vision. Some will despise it. Others will try to destroy it. Why you should keep your plans to yourself. 1. Premature exposure brings premature attacks. When you share your goals too soon, you give the enemy a chance to strike before you're even prepared. Just like Joseph, many people have faced unnecessary battles because they exposed their plans before securing them. 2. Words have power. Use them wisely. Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." Your words shape your reality. When you speak prematurely, you risk shifting focus from action to talk, and sometimes talk kills momentum. 3. Energy should be spent on execution, not explanation. Every time you discuss your plans, you expend energy explaining instead of executing. Successful people understand that dreams require work, not just words. 4. You invite unwanted opinions and doubts. Once you tell people your dreams, they often feel entitled to give their input. Some will genuinely support you, but many will fill your mind with doubt, making you second-guess your calling. 5. Not everyone is your well-wisher. Matthew 10:16 warns us to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Some people pretend to support you but secretly hope for your failure. The less they know, the less power they have over your destiny. Real-life examples. A man once started a business in his basement, but told no one except his wife. Friends often asked, "What do you do all day?" He simply smiled and said, "I'm working on something." Years later, his company became a multi-million-dollar empire. Those same friends were shocked when they found out. His secret, he built in silence. When should you speak? 1. When the foundation is unshakable. Speak when your plans have progressed beyond the risk of sabotage. 2. When you're surrounded by true supporters. Not everyone should hear your dreams. Choose carefully. 3. When your success speaks for itself. The best way to announce a dream is through results. The wisdom of moving in silence. Think of an architect building a skyscraper. Before anything visible appears, they spend months working underground, laying a foundation. If they announce the building too soon, critics might claim it's impossible, and enemies might try to stop them. But once the structure begins to rise, it's too late to be stopped. That's how we should approach our biggest plans. Work beneath the surface. Build a foundation. Let success be the loudest announcement. Before you share your dreams, ask yourself, is it necessary? Is it wise? Will this announcement strengthen me or weaken me? If you truly believe in your vision, protect it. Move in silence, build in wisdom, and when the time is right, let your results speak for themselves. Point 2. Your weaknesses and fears. Imagine a soldier standing in battle, fully armored, except for one small gap in his defenses. His enemies don't need to attack his whole body. They only need to aim for that single exposed spot, and he will fall. That's exactly how weaknesses and fears work. The moment you reveal what makes you anxious, insecure, or vulnerable, you hand people the blueprint to your destruction. Some might use it to manipulate you, while others may store the information for a later attack. Even those who seem kind today can become enemies tomorrow. The greatest mistake you can make is trusting the wrong person with the wrong information. And if you don't believe me, just ask Samson. Samson was a man of incredible strength, chosen by God to deliver Israel from its enemies. He was undefeatable. No army could take him down. No chains could hold him. But Samson had one major flaw: he trusted the wrong person with his weakness. In Judges 16, we meet Delilah, a woman sent by Samson's enemies to find out the secret of his strength. She asked him repeatedly, "Tell me the secret of your great strength and how you can be tied up and subdued." At first, Samson resisted. He lied to her, but Delilah was persistent. Day after day, she pressured him, nagged him, and wore him down. Finally, Samson gave in and revealed the one thing he should have kept hidden. "No razor has ever been used on my head," he said, "because I have been a Nazirite dedicated to God from my mother's womb. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave me, and I would become as weak as any other man." Judges 16:17. The moment he spoke, his downfall was set in motion. Delilah shaved his hair while he slept, and his enemies captured him, blinded him, and enslaved him. Samson didn't lose because he was weak, he lost because he told the wrong person his weakness. Why you should never reveal your weaknesses and fears. 1. People change, and so do their intentions. The friend who seems trustworthy today may turn against you tomorrow. The colleague who listens to your struggles today may use them against you in the future. Judas was once close to Jesus, but he still betrayed him. 2. The devil listens too. The enemy works through people. If Satan knows what breaks you, he will send the right person to press the right buttons at the right time. 1 Peter 5:8 warns us, "Your adversary the devil prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour." 3. Fear multiplies when you speak it out loud. What you confess grows stronger. When you say, "I'm afraid of failing," you reinforce that fear in your mind. Instead of voicing fear, voice faith, because faith comes by hearing. Romans 10:17. Real-life examples. A woman once told her partner, "My biggest fear is being abandoned." Years later, during an argument, he used those exact words against her. No wonder everyone leaves you. How to protect yourself. 1. Take your fears to God, not people. Instead of telling people what scares you, tell God. Psalm 55:22 says, "Cast your cares on the Lord and he will sustain you." 2. Build your strength in silence. If you struggle with something, work on it privately. Grow stronger behind closed doors. When you appear in public, let people see your progress, not your process. 3. Use wisdom when sharing struggles. If you must talk, choose a mentor, pastor, or trusted friend who has proven their loyalty over time. Don't share deep struggles with casual acquaintances. The strongest people are not those without weaknesses, but those who keep them hidden. Think of a lion in the wild. Even when wounded, it does not show pain because weakness invites attack. The same is true for you. Your strength lies in your silence. So before you tell someone your struggles, ask yourself, Can this person be trusted with my vulnerabilities? What will they do with this information if our relationship changes? Would I rather tell them or tell God? Some battles are meant to be fought in private. Some fears are meant to be conquered in silence. And some weaknesses are meant to be known only by you and God. Point 3. Your financial status. If you suddenly won $1 million today, how many friends and relatives do you think would appear out of nowhere? We've all seen it happen. People who were ignored or forgotten suddenly become important when money is involved. Your financial status, whether wealth or struggle, should never be common knowledge. Why? Because money changes how people see you. Some will see you as a target, others as a resource, and a few as competition. The moment you open your mouth about your financial situation, you invite attention, and not all attention is good. The Bible gives us clear wisdom about handling finances wisely. Proverbs 22:7 warns, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender." This means that if people know your wealth, some will try to control you. If they know your financial struggles, some will use them against you. Case study: Hezekiah's costly mistake. In 2 Kings 20:12-19, King Hezekiah made a tragic error. When visitors from Babylon came to Judah, he proudly showed them everything in his palace: his silver, gold, spices, and treasures. He thought he was impressing them, but in reality, he was exposing himself. What happened next? The prophet Isaiah rebuked him, saying, "The time will surely come when everything in your palace will be carried off to Babylon." 2 Kings 20:17, Hezekiah's openness led to Judah's downfall. The Babylonians saw what was available, and years later, they returned not as visitors, but as conquerors. Lesson: what people don't know, they can't target. Why you should keep your financial details private. 1. Money attracts fake friends and opportunists. When people think you have money, their behavior changes. Some will pretend to love you but only stay close because of what they can get. The prodigal son in Luke 15:11-16 had friends when he had money, but when he lost it, he had no one. 2. Your financial struggles can be used against you. If people know you're struggling, they may judge you, manipulate you, or control you. Some employers underpay workers because they know they are desperate. Proverbs 13:8 says, "The ransom of a man's life is his wealth, but the poor hear no threat." Meaning, when people think you have nothing, they leave you alone. 3. Family expectations can become burdens. Once relatives hear you're financially successful, expectations rise. Instead of respecting your hard work, some will see you as an ATM. People will guilt trip you, saying, "But we're family." 4. Financial knowledge should be private power, not public gossip. Wealthy people do not go around announcing their income. True financial wisdom is found in quiet investments, not loud boasting. Real-life examples. A man who won the lottery thought it was a blessing, but after announcing it, family members and strangers harassed him for money. Eventually, he had to move cities to escape the pressure. How to handle money wisely without attracting unwanted attention. 1. Never reveal your exact income. Whether you earn little or much, it's nobody's business but yours and God's. If someone asks, respond generally, "God is taking care of me." 2. Invest quietly, grow steadily. Financial success is best built in silence. Let your lifestyle, not your words, reflect your progress. 3. Help others, but with wisdom. Generosity is good, but be strategic. Don't allow guilt-tripping to drain you financially. Jesus himself handled finances with wisdom. In Matthew 17:27, he performed a miracle to pay taxes, but told Peter to get the money from a fish's mouth. Jesus provided, but he didn't make a public display of his financial resources. If you want to protect your wealth or future wealth, guard your words. Never reveal too much. And remember, not everyone is happy when you succeed. Not everyone will pity you when you struggle. Move wisely, invest silently, and let results not words speak for you. Point 4. Your past sins and mistakes. Have you ever trusted someone with your past, thinking they would understand only for them to judge, betray, or use it against you later? The truth is, no matter how much time has passed, there are people who will never let go of your past mistakes. They will remind you of them, define you by them, and even spread them to others. Some will pretend to forgive, but deep inside, they will always see you through the lens of what you once were. That is why not everyone deserves to know your past. The enemy specializes in using your history against you, even when God has already forgiven you. If you don't believe me, just ask Paul. Before becoming one of the greatest apostles, Paul, formerly Saul, was a persecutor of Christians. He arrested them, approved their executions, and spread fear. But after encountering Jesus on the road to Damascus, his life changed completely. Acts 9:1-19. Despite his transformation, people still feared him. In Acts 9:26, when Paul tried to join the disciples, they were all afraid of him, not believing that he really was a disciple. Lesson: even when God forgives you, people may not. That's why Paul focused on preaching the gospel, instead of defending his past. He didn't go around explaining himself to everyone. He let his new life speak louder than his old one. Why you should keep your past sins and mistakes private. 1. Some people will never forget. No matter how much you've changed, some people will always see you as the person you used to be. Even Jesus faced this. In Mark 6:3, when he returned to his hometown, people said, "Isn't this the carpenter, the son of Mary?" They couldn't accept that he was more than what they remembered. 2. Your past can be used to manipulate you. If the wrong person knows your darkest secrets, they can use them to control or blackmail you. Proverbs 11:13 warns, "A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret." 3. The devil loves to remind you of your past. Revelation 12:10 calls Satan the accuser of the brethren. He wants you trapped in guilt. If you keep talking about your past sins, you give the devil more room to attack your confidence in Christ. Real-life examples. A man once told a coworker that he had a criminal record from years ago. Later, during a conflict at work, that same coworker reported him to management, costing him his job. How to handle your past wisely. 1. Take it to God, not people. Psalm 103:12 says, "As far as the east is from the west, so far has he removed our transgressions from us." If God has forgiven you, why keep revisiting the past? 2. Let your new life speak for itself. Instead of explaining your past, live in a way that shows your transformation. 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, "If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has gone, the new is here." 3. Be selective about who you share with. If you must share, do so only with people who are mature, wise, and spiritually grounded. Your past does not define you. God does. Don't let guilt or curiosity make you reveal things that should remain between you and God. Some stories are meant to be testimonies, but only at the right time, with the right audience. The world doesn't need to know everything about where you've been. What matters is where God is taking you. Point 5. Your family's private affairs. What happens in the house should stay in the house. Every family has struggles, conflicts, and private matters that are meant to stay within the family. Yet, too often, people make the mistake of sharing family issues with outsiders, friends, colleagues, or even strangers on social media, only to regret it later. Why? Because the world doesn't care about fixing your family. Many just want gossip. Some will judge you, others will use your family's weaknesses to their advantage. Even Jesus understood this principle. In John 2:1-11, when the wedding at Cana ran out of wine, Mary told Jesus about the problem, but notice something: she didn't announce it to the guests. She brought the issue privately to Jesus, knowing that not everyone needed to know about the family's problem. This is wisdom. When there's a problem in your family, you don't broadcast it, you take it to Jesus. Why you should keep family affairs private. 1. Outsiders will judge, not understand. People outside your family don't know the full story. They will judge based on what they hear, not what they understand. Proverbs 11:12 says, "Whoever derides their neighbor has no sense, but the one who has understanding holds their tongue." 2. Family conflicts should not be public spectacles. Exposing family problems can ruin reputations and damage relationships permanently. If you and your sibling argue today, but forgive each other tomorrow, others will still remember the fight. Proverbs 17:9 says, "Whoever covers an offense seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates close friends." 3. Not everyone wants to see your family win. Some people secretly enjoy seeing others fail. The devil hates strong families because they reflect God's design. Nehemiah 4:14 reminds us to fight for your families, your sons, and your daughters. Real-life examples. A woman once shared her marital struggles with a friend. Instead of giving wise advice, the friend secretly pursued her husband and ended up ruining the marriage. How to handle family issues wisely. 1. Discuss problems privately. Handle family matters within the family first. Matthew 18:15 says, "If your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault, between you and him alone." 2. Seek wise counsel, not public sympathy. If you must seek help, go to a trusted elder, pastor, or counselor, not just anyone. Proverbs 15:22 says, "Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed." 3. Pray for your family, instead of complaining about them. Prayer changes situations in ways gossip never can. James 5:16 reminds us, "The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective." Your family is your God-given assignment. No family is perfect, but airing private matters in public only invites unnecessary trouble. So before you speak about your family to outsiders, ask yourself, will this build or destroy my family's honor? Am I solving a problem or just venting? Would I want this to be said about me? If your words won't bring healing, wisdom, or restoration, keep them to yourself. The Bible teaches us that wisdom is knowing when to speak and when to be silent. Proverbs 21:23 sums it up perfectly. Whoever keeps his mouth and his tongue keeps himself out of trouble. So, from today, let wisdom guide your words. Speak only what builds, and guard the treasures of your life from those who don't deserve them. God bless you all. Please do well to subscribe, like, comment, and share, so that this message can get to a good number of people. Tell us at the comment section which of the points stood out for you. Shalom.